Are you stuck? How about unhappy? Join Alena Chapman, author, mentor, and life coach for Magical Moments with Alena as she challenges you to get out of the doldrum and start living your life to the fullest. Alena will help you take control of your life and push you to do the things you never thought you'd do. So get ready to take back your power and celebrate life with Magical Moments featuring Alena Chapman.
Welcome to Magical Moments, and I'm your host, Alena Chapman. And you know, guys, we so deserve ease and betterment in our life, and prosperity and health and love. And I'll tell you, it is something, because right now we have so many people that don't feel that way. But you know what? There is always a silver lining to every cloud. I know that is a very common. And we always say that people who think that way are optimistic. But you know what? There is a lot to that. It means looking for the opportunity in every situation instead of looking at the situation as dread and awfulness. And that's not just an optimist. That's a survival and thriving practice. So I'm going to make this nugget very short this time. This is our magical nugget. This week, with every situation that comes, step back, get quiet, and say, wait a minute. There is a silver lining here. I know there is. And start to look for that opportunity. You can even say to God or the universe, God, I am open to the opportunity that is being presented to me. Words are magic, guys. Words are magic. And when you do that, it opens up your heart, your mind, your soul to the opportunity of the situation. When I was going through, we all have gone through challenges in our life, and I'm human. I've gone through challenges. I have had times, I told you, when I was almost homeless. I've had times where I really didn't know what to do. I've had times where I had a bully. There were always times when something was not right in my life. But I'll tell you, every single time, I would find myself saying, no, this is not going to be my life. Open up the opportunity to me. That's it. That's all I'd say. And before I know it, something would pop in. Somebody would be there to help me. A job would open up that would give me lots of money so I wasn't homeless anymore. Magically, a beautiful little apartment opens up, and I get the wonderful guidance to just say, hey, if you let me live here for 2 months, I'll redo the whole thing if you pay for the supplies. And miraculously, that person says yes. But if I had been stuck in that storm cloud, I wouldn't have even offered to live in that place. I wouldn't have even looked for the job. That person would never have appeared in my life. You have to be open. You have to look for the silver lining. You have to say to God, my heart and soul and mind are open to your opportunities. Present them to me, please. All right. I have a wonderful guest for you today. Actually, I met her in Utah at this cool mastermind. Beautiful women. Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. But Deb is a unique, wonderful soul, and she's got a very unique, wonderful way of helping people. And that's why I wanted to get her on, because she is just, I just see her as like this shimmering light. She's just a warm, shimmering light. Her name is Deb Battersby, and she's a speaker, author, success coach, and creator of the FreedomPoint. Yes, folks, the FreedomPoint System. I love it. As an in-demand speaker on business success formulas and extreme personal achievement, Deb has spoken to thousands around the globe, from New York to Sydney. Deb and her company, Success Matrix International, are dedicated to accelerating the success and enhancing the quality of life of its global clientele. She works with diverse and dynamic individuals and organizations, from those facing abrupt changes in those spearheading and really trying to succeed in their business and personal life. She's known for her innovative techniques and dramatic results. And with that, I would like to bring on Deb Battersby. Hello, Deb.
Hello, Alena. I am so excited to be part of your program today, and thank you for the beautiful message you shared as you opened the program.
Oh, the magical nugget. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's the truth. Don't you find that? It is really, it is what we make of it, and it is what we say. It is, those words are your wand. They truly are.
I agree completely. And one of the things that you mentioned is looking for the opportunity. And sometimes when you think you can't find the opportunity, the real gift in the challenge isn't always the situation. The gift is what it brings out in you.
Isn't that the truth?
Your example, it brings out that creativity and that resourcefulness and that looking at things from a different perspective. So it's the gift in the situation is also the gift that it activates or draws out from you.
Isn't that true? And it is.
Oh, yeah.
It is that. And if we didn't have the challenge, we probably wouldn't have known the gift.
Exactly. So so that is one of the things I love to have people celebrate, is celebrate the gift in you that can face that challenge in a resourceful and creative way. That's where you begin to reconnect to your self-value, your self-worth, your self-esteem, all those things. So I love your example.
It is. It's so true. I mean, and we don't always know. I really think, like, when the situation came and I didn't have a job and I was going through a divorce and there was no money whatsoever, I had $200 in my pocket. And I remember thinking, well, I don't remember thinking at all, except that I saw a homeless woman and I gave her $20 and I said to myself, oh my gosh, I'm almost where she is. Mm-hmm. And that was when it flashed to me. But right away, I said, no, that's not going to be my life. Well, I'm opening myself to the opportunities. God, present the opportunities to me. That's what I said. That's all I said. And that was the gift. And the gift then, when the opportunity was brought in, my gifts came into being able to rise to the occasion, to do whatever it took to get myself out of it, to take those opportunities. Yeah. I think I would have never thought of myself as that strong.
And look at where that has led you. And so what an inspiration to everyone who's listening. The people who make it in the world are rarely the ones who've had it easy.
True.
The challenge brings out so much depth in us, that it is the challenge that makes us dig deep and see what resources we have within us. What are we really capable of?
Which is fun. It's fun to figure that out, isn't it?
It's beautiful.
You have an incredible way of working with people. For everyone out there, Deb offered to work with me just for fun so I could see what she did. It is an incredible, I love it. And I'm going to open them up to this, and then I'm going to get you right in explaining more, and you can tell me where I just described it wrong. So
go for it.
So when you have something that, an action, an emotion, something in you that is somehow causing an adverse reaction in your life, in what you're going for with people, whatever, guess what? You can change it with such ease. It is, I really think what I think you do is an alchemy. It is changing one aspect of yourself or an emotion of yourself or a belief of yourself into another. Am I correct?
I love that, because it is all about transformation, and transformation from one thing to another is alchemy. And I love that analogy, because what we're looking at is taking the emotions that we're experiencing, which generate, every emotion is going to generate a belief or a thought or an action or a reaction. So when we change the chemistry of that emotion and we alchemize it, we create a whole different experience for our life and in our lives. So I think it's a brilliant description.
Okay. Now, this is very hard for people to understand. I get it. It is. It's very... So we're going to use me as an example. I'm very open. Why not? Just let's air it out there, Deb. There's only 300 and something thousand listening. All right. So with that, okay. So when I came to you, and I want you to talk people through this, I came to you and you asked me, okay, so what aspect of yourself is not making you happy right now? And I told you that I have this little warrior inside of me. I have this this defender of everything and anything inside of me, always right at the bit, correct?
Yeah. Well, it's an interesting thing, because in your example, the thought you had was feeling like something was my fault, the need to be defensive about it, feeling like someone's criticism is a form of attack, and that I need to fight, that warrior within me needs to step up and fight. And I bet everyone who's listening to this has had a situation where that defender has been triggered, and the need to fight and protect shows up.
Mine was on steroids, I think.
Yeah. And, sometimes that happens. There are certain things that trigger us to defend our sense of self, and to defend what we think is an attack on our integrity or an attack on our being. And so we all have those triggers. And so
what did you do? I really want you to show what you did with me with that, because that is so ask, do the questions that you asked, and my replies are just kind of walk them through that process, because it's cool.
And the first thing that we do is recognize, okay, these are things you feel. They are not meant to be judged or criticized or suppressed in any way. The reality is you feel them, so they are real and genuine for you. And don't let anyone tell you any differently. Whatever you're feeling is real for you. And it has a very positive intention. So this is the first thing that I really want, my clients to understand, is that everything you feel, I don't care what it is here for your highest good, whether you recognize it or not. And so, first assumption, it's all here to serve you. It's kind of like that silver lining that Alena talked about. There is some magic in that emotion for you. So stop criticizing and judge it, and let's explore the magic behind it. So the first thing we do is we kind of go into a meditative state. It's going to take too long to, take you through that process.
Oh, no, don't do that. Yeah, just explain.
No, we're not doing that. So first go into a meditative state. And then once we're in that relaxed, centered state, the question is, where do you sense or feel that emotion in your body?
That's right.
And I promise you that it has a physiological residence in the body. And so the reason that we do this is to find out where is that emotion in the body, because that tells us that it's real, it's there, it has a place of belonging, but it also tells you that it hasn't been fully processed because it's still in the body. And so once we identify where it's located, then we begin to ask questions, and this is going to sound kind of strange to you, but this is where the magic begins. We begin to have a conversation with that emotional pattern.
Right.
We want to know, why is it here? How long has it been here? What's its job? And in reality, it's very, very specific. And
it is. You're talking when I was in that meditative state, and you were asking my very defending fighter self, why you were here, what are you doing? I was drawing upon what I was hearing from its story.
Yeah, absolutely. And the response was, hey, I've been here a really long time. I've been here somewhere between the ages of 2 and 5. I'm here to protect her.
I was a strong little fighter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm trying to help her get other people to understand where she's coming from. I'm here to help her set up boundaries. Now, can you imagine the wisdom of a toddler trying to help you set boundaries? But that is brilliant.
That's something, isn't it?
Emotional pattern.
Yeah, it really is.
It's here to help her. This, like I said, this immature child, a toddler, who is trying to say, look, you're violating the boundaries of my space of who I am.
Yeah.
And giving her the voice to help explain that.
Yeah.
And then we ask questions like, what's the upside of that little defender pattern? And the upside is to get her voice out there, to help her explain her position, to help her deal with surprises, and to help her be direct and specific. Now, wouldn't it be interesting to realize, think about what Alena does right now. She's on this radio show, getting her voice out there, helping to articulate her perspective and her position on things and how she sees the world, being direct and specific, to take a position of strength and clarity and conviction. Now, that pattern started, as I say, in the toddler phase between ages 2 and 5.
Amazing, isn't it?
And so look at how that pattern has actually manifested in her life.
Incredible way.
Isn't that phenomenal?
Yeah. So it does. It is a friend, but it can also be a detriment, like I told you.
Well, yeah. See, and then that's why we ask, what's the downside of that strategy? So remember, the reason we ask this question, and this is where we set up the alchemy. We ask this question because, remember, this pattern came to serve this child, a child who hasn't even gone to kindergarten yet, and a child with limited experience, not a lot of emotional maturity, certainly not a lot of power in her environment. So the pattern itself, this emotional construct, was created for a child. Once it's locked into the subconscious, it remains
cement.
That pattern. It is the pattern who came to serve a child.
Yeah.
What it doesn't have the freedom yet to mature, to align with the adult who is now running that pattern. So the downside is that, we ask, so what's the downside of continuing this particular strategy? We know the upside. We love the upside, and we want to celebrate the upside of it. But the downside is that it stops communication. It gets off point. It makes other people defensive. She feels like she's being judged or restricted. It can be intimidating to other people. Other people feel criticized. So the question then becomes, and we're asking this of the emotional pattern, because remember, the subconscious is brilliant because it doesn't have limits or restrictions, but it also takes everything literally. So everything that was presented to that, 2 to 5 year old was literally.
That's how it is.
And it has a neurological pathway to that behavior. So we begin to talk with this pattern and discuss with the subconscious, is there a better strategy that's available now? What is a better strategy?
And we came up with wisdom, didn't we?
And wisdom said, look, I know what Alena's been through these last many years since she was 5. I know what she's learned. I know, the insights and references that she can rely on. And so I can help her respond to those triggers very differently than that 5-year-old defender. And so what happens in this moment is, and this is why the work is called FreedomPoint, because we are always looking for the point at which the subconscious is free to change the strategy, to transform the emotion. Because when we get from defensive to wisdom, the world changes. Defensive is a very different emotional chemistry than wisdom.
Totally.
It is.
Totally. I can say that. Yeah, totally. It is. It's night and day. Night and day.
Exactly. And so what was once defensive now becomes very calm and considered and proactive.
I have seen a difference. Now, we spoke on, what was it, Friday? Was it last Friday?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we had our session last Friday. I didn't know what to expect, folks, but I'm always throwing myself out there, and then I use myself as an example for you. But this is the thing. I have seen that defending child, that defensive me, that fighter, that little, warrior inside me, it hasn't left, but it's taken. I have said, okay, you're going to be second, and we're going to let wisdom come up. That's what we did. We let wisdom come up and be in the forefront. And so this is what I see in my difference in my thinking. I don't have that feeling that I ever have to defend myself. Isn't that amazing? I also find that when people speak, I'm not speaking right away. I stop and I assess what they're saying. And then the wisdom comes. The wisdom, all that stuff I've learned, all the stuff that I try to teach people, that comes up first in my interactions with everyone now.
It is pretty profound because, again, we've created a transformation because the subconscious has a brand new operating procedure that doesn't have to think about overcoming the old response because a new one has already been put in place and locked in place by the subconscious. This is where, if it's true that 95% of your actions and thoughts and beliefs are based on automatic programming, neuroscientists and psychologists say 90 to 95% of everything we do every day is programmed. And so what we're doing
more now
in FreedomPoint work is to create a new program, but not a new program to overlay on top of the old program. We're transforming the old program into a new program. So there's no conflict. There's no inner turmoil. There's a new strategy in place. And it's a transformed way of handling the same situation.
Yeah, and I want to make that even clearer because, okay, so when we do affirmations, we are forcing one behavior to act in a different way. Okay, so, but what this is doing, and it's done with such kindness and love, it's looking at that story of this little 2 to 5-year-old and saying, okay, you have been amazing. Look where you got Alena. Look at what you have done and how you have helped her so much in so many. It's important for you to still be there, but you don't have to be the driving force. So that wonderful part that has helped you through your life doesn't have to be replaced. It just transforms into something better that fits your needs now. That's what's so cool.
Exactly.
Deb, how can people learn more? How can they get hold of you if they want to do something like this?
Oh, fantastic. Well, I can be reached, via email or at deb@successmatrix.com. So email me anytime. And by the way, if we have any coaches or therapists or counselors or, people who really specialize in helping other people break through challenges and issues, and you have any interest in learning how to do this work, I do have a certification program. That's the next course is starting in September.
Oh,
so
wonderful.
if you have any interest in something like that, reach out to me, and I'll be happy to connect you with all the resources to find out.
I love that. And for everyone out there, Soul Manifesto is what we are all about and is the sponsor of this program. It's also mine. So I want to let you know that Soul Manifesto this is its purpose. It's to get people who want to see growth, who want to feel that connection to their inner divine, and to guide it in a way that's positive with purpose and happiness and actual joy in ourselves. And so that's why I have this show, and this is why I have Soul Manifesto, to bring people and myself to help you. Because listen, this life, we only have one go around. And isn't it better to be with like-minded people and really grow, to really celebrate life instead of treating it like a mundane drudgery? Yes. So if you're interested, look at soulmanifesto.com. We have some free programs. We've got the wonderful Soul Talks on Thursday night. Oh my gosh, we have so much fun in those talks. And all you have to do is register and you get a link. And we also have the 7-day reset. And we also have that wonderful inevitable you, that divine inevitable you inside you. Let's tap into that with Elizabeth Gilbert, myself, and many other fabulous coaches, like even people like Deb are in there. So take a look at soulmanifesto.com. And remember, spirit is love. And the more we can open ourselves and gain the behaviors and the feelings that help us to open to love, the more spirit can work through us to co-create that life we so deserve to live.
This has been Magical Moments with Alena, featuring Alena Chapman. If you missed an episode, download it now on iTunes, Spotify, TuneIn, CastBox, Deezer, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, or your favorite podcast platform. Learn more online at soulmanifesto.com.
Podcasts by Federated Media.